Chapter 31. Mosquitoes. "We must build a stable for the horses," Pa said. "It won't always be warm enough for them to stay outdoors. A bad storm may come up even in summer. They must have shelter." "Ellen too, Pa?" Laura asked. "Cattle are better off outdoors in summer," Pa told her. "But I like to have the horses in a stable at night." Laura held the boards for Pa. She handed him tools and brought nails while he built the stable, at the west of the house against the little hill. It would be sheltered there on the west and north when the cold winter winds were blowing. The days were warm. Mosquitoes came out of the big slough at sundown and sang their high, keen song all night as they swarmed around Ellen, biting her and sucking the blood until she ran around and round on her picket rope. They went into the stable and bit the horses until they pulled at their halters and stamped. They came into the claim shanty and bit everyone there until great blotches raised on faces and hands. Their singing and the sting of the bites made night a torment. "This will never do," Pa said. "We must have mosquito bar on the windows and door." "It's the big slough," Ma complained. "The mosquitoes come from there. I wish we were farther away from it." But Pa liked the slough. "There are acres and acres of hay there that anyone can have for the cutting," he told Ma. "No one will ever take up homesteads in the big slough. There's only upland hay on our place. But with the big slough so near, we can always cut hay there and have all we need. Besides, all the prairie grass is full of mosquitoes, too. I'll go down today and get some mosquito bar." Pa bought yards of pink mosquito bar from town and strips of lumber to make a frame for a screen door. Then he made the door. Ma tacked the mosquito bar over the windows, then she tacked it over the door frame, and Pa hung the screen door. That night he built a smudge of old damp grass so the smoke would drift before the stable door. Mosquitoes would not go through the smoke. Pa made a smudge so Ellen could stand in its smoke, and she went at once and stayed there. Pa made sure there was no dry grass near the smudges and built them up so they would last all night. "There," he said. I guess that fixes the mosquitoes." Chapter 32. Evening shadows fall. Sam and David stood quietly resting in the stable with the smoke screen before the door. Ellen on her picket rope lay comfortably in the smoke from the smudge. No mosquitoes could get at them. There was not one of the singing pests inside the claim shanty. They could not come through the mosquito bar over the door and windows. "Now we're all snug," said Pa. "Settled at last on our homestead. Bring me the fiddle, Laura, and we'll have a little music." Grace was safely in her bed with Carrie beside her. Ma and Mary sat rocking gently in the shadows, but moonlight shone through the southern window and touched Pa's face and hands and the fiddle as the bow moved smoothly over the strings. Laura sat near Mary and watched it as she thought how the moonlight would be shining in the fairy ring where the violets grew. It was just the night for fairies to be dancing there. Pa was singing with the fiddle. "In Scarlet Town where I was born, there was a fair maid dwellin', and every youth cried well-a-wa, her name was Barbary Allen. All in the merry month of May, when green buds they were swellin', young Johnny Grove on his deathbed lay, for love of Barbara Allen." Laura drew the curtain as she and Mary joined Carrie and Grace in their tiny bedroom, and as they fell asleep thinking of violets and fairy rings and moonlight over the wide, wide land where their very own homestead lay, Pa and the fiddle were softly singing, "Home, home, sweet, sweet home, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home."